Selling 3D content online for now 5 years has taught me an immense amount, and I want to go through them point for point with you. Stay tuned, take notes if you want to. Firstly, don't get caught in too many upload loops. In other words, spending too much time uploading to too many different sites. Pick 2 or 3 sales sites and stick with those. Upload to those. Otherwise, you'll be uploading to 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 different sites and you lose creating time. You could be creating valuable assets and content. Pick 2 popular, 3 at the most popular sites, upload to those and just commit. Don't cannibalize your own sales. This is a simple one for me. If you upload to too many, if I can explain, upload to too many different sites or sites that have radically varying royalty agreements. You could be, example, you could be selling a model for $70 on CG Trader and you sell that same model for $70 on another site that has a different royalty arrangement. So I get about 80% royalties on CG Trader now just because of reputation points, and on another site, if I were to sign up to that site, which I'm not going to, I would only receive about 40 or 50% royalties. So if I upload the same models to both those sites, a lot of shoppers, I've seen it in the industry that I've worked as well, when they buy something on CG Trader or they're looking for a 3D model, they'll go look on CG Trader and then they'll go, okay, but how much does it cost on TurboSquid? There are price shoppers out there and they'll normally frequent the 2 of those and a couple of others maybe. They'll buy it at the cheaper site. So if someone then goes to a cheaper site that has a lower royalty arrangement, then you could potentially lose 30 or 40 or how many ever dollars on that sale. Days online. So what that means is every single day that your product is online is a potential sales day. And if not, it's a potential marketing opportunity. Every online day is a day that possible viewers or more viewers can view your product. So what this means for the way that you build and sell 3D models is, example from my Hong Kong scene. My Hong Kong scene is a very popular scene and it's a very big scene. It took a while to create the scene, but while I created that scene, a lot of the smaller assets, I did those first, and as I completed them, I uploaded them and started selling them on CD Trader already. The scene was far from finished, but I'm already selling content from that scene, and when the scene is complete, then you can obviously tie it together with CG Trader's collection function, or I just uploaded a separate scene that is complete. Get your products out there, get them to have the most possible days online. Every day online is more eyes on product. Go where the people are. Sites like CG Trader, for instance, Blender Market, and a couple of others have got a very good customer base already. So it has an established number of people that frequent them. So go where the people are. You know that there are shoppers there, and they'll save you time for trying to market your own stuff or create a website that'll take away time from creating your 3D content. You can do that later, but to start off, go where the people are. Occasion content or non-occasion content. So what I mean by that is certain content is tied to occasions. Certain 3D models are themed or styled or made for a specific occasion. Probably the easiest one I can think of is Christmas is an occasion. So I see a lot of models in Blender Market and CG Trader around this time of Christmas trees or presents or other things related to that occasion. The reason that I don't model for occasions is very simple. I have 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks in a year that I can sell that content. I'm not interested in that. I want 12 potential sales months a year. And that's why I model things that are not tied to occasions, that pretty much sell around the year. I keep my models generic and I keep them in a way that they transcend occasions or times of the year, that they're generic content that can be used outside of whatever occasion it is. Productivity. So this is a passion point for me. I'm an extremely productive person, I'd like to think, but it wasn't always the case. I had to work to get there. I was by nature a lazy person. But I've come to a place where I refuse to sit on my hands, and 3D modeling recharges me in my off time. So it's very easy to slap together almost a model a day for 3 days a week. When a Saturday afternoon comes, I've got 2-3 extra hours, quickly texture it. So it's very easy to create a lot of content in a way that it still doesn't interfere with your everyday life. But what I refuse to do is sit on my hands watching series night after night after night. If you won't be productive, don't expect good sales if you have an online business. Template your workflow as far as you can. You want to spend less time on the file setups for each file or product or material setups. Template your work. I even go as far as in my Blender, I've got render templates saved for CG Trader, Instagram for vertical shots where I do a lot of my marketing. Then I've got a different template saved for print, for high res, selling 3D stuff on display, and I've also got Shutterstock. And in Blender I can switch between these file setups. So I want to spend as little as possible time in the fiddly bits and just focus on the art. Market your products. Now this is one of those things where I wish I realized the significance of this earlier. And I'm now at a point where I almost do more marketing of my products than the actual 3D content creation. And I didn't understand the power of this until I made my Hong Kong scene. My Instagram account's fairly insignificant. In fact, it's very insignificant. But I put that Hong Kong scene up there, and it grabbed a crazy amount of attention, or at least in relation to my other posts. And a lot of people contacted me because of that render. I got a sponsorship from CoreWeave for cloud rendering just because they saw that render. And it's a little bit crazy, but there are other benefits to you marketing your products. Industry movements. So you'll find in any industry, the industry moves and shifts, and you have to move and shift with it if you want to stay relevant. So what that means for the 3D industry at the very basic level is, a few years ago, a simple diffuse texture would have worked quite well on a model, and you could potentially get a lot of sales on it. But the industry has shifted. Substance Painter came out. Retopo has become a big thing, and you can no longer just get away with a simple flat model and flat texture. The industry has kind of moved to a level where it, as a standard, wants PBR content for games. Substance Designer has become a standard tool. .blend has become a standard in file formats. You used to be able to just, people were happy with downloading .3ds and .obj files. That's no longer the case. .blend has become a very formidable challenge or competition to those formats. Move with the industry, learn new software if you have to. Diversification is key. If you're watching this video because you sell 3D content online or 3D assets, you are most probably selling in someone else's shop or someone else's online platform. You're most probably selling on Blender Market or CG Trader or a couple of others. But the reality is those are not your platforms. And it's key that you diversify. Just a simple explanation or example from my own story. I used to sell on the 3D Studio when they were still around. This was a good few years ago, and at that time I was only selling on the 3D Studio, and 3D Studio went through an ownership change where they saw the potential in 3D printing. They saw the industry changing direction, and with the ownership change, the 3D Studio kind of moved away from selling 3D models or virtual models to selling print models. They wanted files for printing only. Now the problem with that is a lot of people still wanted virtual content, or at least to be able to use content in a virtual scene or setting. And they very quickly started losing traction in the industry, and then almost overnight it seemed they shut down. And in not a blink, but close to a blink, I went from having a good few models online to not having any models online. But the bottom line is I didn't see them. The site looked good, the website looked good, the ownership change was something I read about, but nothing alerted me to the fact that this shop might not be open tomorrow. If this video was helpful, then also watch Selling 3D Models Before You Start. There's some great tips in there just to get you to stop and think about what you are doing before you just run into it and possibly waste your own time.